What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we got a big old update about Starter Deck 22. You see, we had this weird thing where we all know Starter Deck 21, right? Starter Deck 21 is the Gear 5 Luffy starter deck. It's out in Japan. We talked about this a lot. We're good. And we actually saw a listing for Starter Decks 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Which is a little bit weird. Basically, it's another set of 6 starter decks, very much like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So we know that's coming. And we ended up in this weird situation where we just had this big gap for Starter Deck 22. And then we had an image being shared around. It wasn't a listing on a distributor website or anything official, but it was basically credible rumors that it was to do with Ace and Newgate and Whitebeard Pirates, and we had a big chat about this. But I told you at the time very clearly, we didn't know everything. By a long shot, there were a lot of questions remaining. Well, wonderful news. Just to be clear, there are still a lot of questions remaining, but there has been a listing going up on Amazon Japan, and this tells us a lot about the deck. It answers a lot of our questions, and it tells us a lot of what we should be expecting. Now, let's start off with the names. The name, I think, is absolutely crucial here. It is called ST-22 One Piece Card Game Start Deck Ace and Newgate. Now, obviously, that vibes of what we were looking at before, and we thought it was Whitebeard Pirates, and everybody's talking about Ace, and everyone's talking about Newgate. But I'm telling you right now, I am 99% certain we are getting a dual Ace and Newgate leader. And the reason I am 99% sure we are getting a dual Ace and Newgate leader is because I have seen this naming convention on a Japanese starter deck exactly once. And that was Starter Deck 12, which was literally called Start Deck Zoro and Sanji. And I've gone and double-checked the Japanese names of every starter deck so far. The only one we've had with this style of name, with this naming convention, is Start Deck 12 Zoro and Sanji, which of course gave us a dual leader, Zoro and Sanji. Well, here we've got Start Deck Ace and Newgate. Now, this doesn't actually confirm a dual leader until it gets announced over on the Japanese website and we get a picture. We're not going to know actually for sure there is a dual leader, but I'm telling you now, I am extremely confident about this because there's no other reason to follow that same naming convention that we had in Starter Deck 12. There's no reason to call it Start Deck Someone and Someone unless you want to do the same thing you did the last time you called it Start Deck Someone and Someone. So yes, I am absolutely sure it is going to be a dual leader card. Although, at this stage, we have a quick reminder of the Zoro and Sanji leader, dual leader cards are actually not very exciting. Now, they're going to be dual color. I think dual color is an absolute given here. And what we've basically got is it's a regular leader. Now, you will have 2 traits in the top right-hand corner, like you got Slash for Zoro and Strike for Sanji. So you'll probably have another one of those, yay. But that is about the best we can do. I'm sorry about that. But as far as I'm concerned, we look at the name of this starter deck here, and I am convinced, genuinely convinced, that we are going to be getting a dual leader here. Now, I think dual leader means dual color. We've not had many dual leaders at all, but I'm still sure they mean dual color. And in terms of what colors here, red is obvious because the Newgate from Starter Deck 2 was red and the Ace from Starter Deck 3 was red. But as far as I'm concerned here, we're going red-blue, which, yes, I'm aware is the same colors we had from Marco back in OP08. Sorry, but just look at the Newgate Pirates we've had. In OP02, we had a whole bunch of Newgate Pirates. Let's show you the Newgate himself. They were all red. Back in OP03 with Ace, we had a bunch of red pirates. Like, for instance, let's show you the Marco, because that Marco is busted good. And then, of course, in OP08, to come along with Marco, we had a bunch of blue Whitebeard pirates. Like, for instance, this Edward Newgate. Now, we did actually have another ace leader. We had the one from Starter Deck 13, which is Whitebeard Pirates, which is blue and yellow. Yellow doesn't really do anything here. Not to be rude, but in terms of Whitebeard Pirates, they could go yellow or go any colour. They could introduce a new colour here. But yellow doesn't really do anything. If the goal here is to make a new Whitebeard Pirates deck that works with the old Whitebeard Pirates, then what you really want to be doing here is giving us a red and blue leader, which I'm aware we've already had with Marco and it's not really great. But still, that's my prediction. I think getting a dual Ace and Newgate leader at this stage is basically confirmed. I'm treating it as that. Again, we don't know for certain, but I've shown you my reasoning. I think that means dual colour. And if you're giving dual colour with Whitebeard Pirates, either it's a new colour that we have no reason to believe is coming and no inkling about, or it's just going to be blue and red, because that's what we've had for Whitebeard Pirates so far. So that was one of the big things that we saw from this listing. The name, and I cannot stress this enough, naming it with that style of name really does tell us quite a bit. But there's something else that we're told. We've got a listing of what's in there. 17 cards, 1 leader, standard, 2 super rares, standard. Also, as a side note here, the fact that it's called Ace and Newgate, and there's 1 leader there, not 2, again, is so much evidence for getting a dual leader here. I refuse to believe it's not happening. 14 commons, 1 play sheet, 14 bonus pack cards. Now this jumps out to me like a sore thumb. Because here's the thing. We're no stranger to bonus pack cards. In fact, we just got bonus pack cards in Starter Deck 21. The thing is, there's only one other time we've had these bonus pack cards, and that was back in Starter Deck 13. But Starter Deck 13 and Starter Deck 21 are kind of mirror images of each other. They are special decks, they're super expensive, they come with, well, 13 had a deck box, 21 had sleeves, but same kind of deal. And bonus packs, you know, they are very much, these are your premium starter decks, they're mirroring each other, right? But this isn't. This isn't a more than 3,000 yen starter deck. This is a 1,430 yen starter deck. For what it's worth, that is a tiny smidge over Starter Deck 12, which was 1,320. But again, we know that they're going to increase in price over time. So this is standard. Starter Deck 21 was 3,190. This is basically, well, like your standard starter deck, like Starter Deck 12, but, oh, it's a bit old now, we need to increase the price. In Japan, we have your budget starter decks, they're like 15 to 20, your standard starter decks, and then like 13 and 21, your real premium ones. This fits in the middle, so that's pretty standard. And yet, it comes with a bonus pack. And this is really relevant to me, because it opens up the question of, are bonus packs here to stay? Because when we had Starter Deck 13, we went, well, yeah, but Starter Deck 13 special. Obviously, it's going to get a bonus pack. That doesn't mean they're all going to get them. And then Starter Deck 21 came out of a bonus pack, and it was like, well, yeah, but Starter Deck 21 is a new Starter Deck 13. These are your premium expensive starter decks. They get the bonus packs. That makes sense. Putting it in a standard starter deck, and that is very much what this is, and you can see it by the price, that makes me think they might now be here to stay. I cannot say that for certain. Also, if you look at the about this item, it also specifically says 1 bonus pack. Remember, in Japan, they tend to be 1-card bonus packs, not 3 like we get. Do remember that. But the point is, we got a bonus pack in a standard set now. That is very, very relevant. We do need to have a think about what this bonus pack is going to look like, though. Back in Starter Deck 13, it was nice and simple. Every card that was not an event card got an alternate art in the bonus pack, except they weren't really alternate art. They're what I've been calling the monochrome, although they do have colour details. And if we have a look at, say, the ace leader against the ace leader from the bonus pack, this is what they all looked like. They were all very standard. The leader got them, all the characters got them, events did not get them. Fine. But in Starter Deck 21, things are a little bit different. The leader Luffy still got one in this same kind of style, But all the others, I mean, if we have a look at Zorro, for instance, this is what the other ones looked like. Leader was still in the same style as Starter Deck 13. Event cards still were ignored and they didn't get full art versions. But it makes sense because they're basically manga panels. It wouldn't really work as well. But then the rest of the characters, they just basically took the border off and made it a full art. Although they did also texture and made it look really lovely. They are much nicer in person than they look on the scans I've put on the screen here. If I had to guess, I would imagine they're going to be more like Starter Deck 21. I think having the leader in this same style is just an absolute given, because we've seen it in 2 different now. But I think the character cards are going to be more like 21 than they are 13. Can't prove that, just a theory. So 3 big things we learned from the Amazon listing. Number 1, we learned that price-wise, it is a standard starter deck. Doesn't have anything special included, standard starter deck. We learned that it is going to have a dual Ace and Newgate leader, and we know that from the naming convention and from the fact that they're both in the name of the deck, but there is only 1 leader card included. And we learned that it is going to have a bonus pack, despite being a regular deck, which does not confirm every starter deck moving forward is going to have them, but does very much open up that possibility. As a side note, remember that your budget starter decks, like we're going to see for 23 to 28, do not expect them to have bonus packs because they are budget starter decks. But I mean, regular ones are going to get them as well as premium. So there we go. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Are you excited about this? Does this change your mind about anything? Are you excited for Whitebeard Pirates to be awesome? Let me know in the comment section, would you? Goodness! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.